What happened to Robert Kiyosaki? In this video, we're going to look at the transformation of Robert Kiyosaki from the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad to how he has completely set aside real estate as an investment and has kind of jumped between silver and Bitcoin, and just kind of chronicling what you think about his transition away from real estate and rental real estate as a asset that is dependable, that's depreciating, that appreciates, that has cash flow. And you know, he was a big advocate of cash flow assets, and now he's basically completely ignored that in favor of gold, silver, and Bitcoin. So we're going to kind of walk through his X feed and see what he has done. So as you know, again, from his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki has always been a proponent of cash flow, particularly rental real estate. And he has always been a advocate for that. In fact, you'll remember a video I did a couple years ago breaking down the feud between Robert Kiyosaki and Grant Cardone when Grant Cardone went on his podcast and basically Robert accused Grant of selling his book and, basically making a pitch for his syndication and not being honest with how he grew from single family rental real estate into the syndicate real estate that Grant Cardone has now created. And the reason he did that was because he was, according to Kiyosaki himself, was trying to educate people on how to get into real estate for beginners. And he basically kicked Cardone off of the podcast and has since gone to several other podcasts bragging about the fact that he kicked Cardone off his podcast and how he knew more about real estate than Grant does. So looking at Kiyosaki's X feed, on March 10, 2025, he says that the everything bubble is bursting. I'm afraid this crash may be the biggest in history. Now, that's not anything new for Kiyosaki. He says that on a regular basis. The world is always coming to an end every day. But if you go down to the bottom, it says, I will continue to acquire real estate. And of course, he says gold, silver, and Bitcoin on sale. But here he says, I am going to acquire real estate. This is the last time that he mentions on X that he intends to acquire real estate. So what does he intend to acquire from there on? Well, he completely ignores real estate and says gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Those are the three things that he is focusing on acquiring. And you can see that through all of the other X posts. I mean, you just pick one at random. March 28, silver, Bitcoin, gold. Silver for the next 2 months is the best of the three, gold, silver, and Bitcoin. April 1st, 2025, he says, don't be a loser, save gold, silver, and Bitcoin. So again, he doesn't mention anything about real estate. On April 22nd, 2025, he says, I am buying more silver eagles today. The good news is silver is the biggest investment bargain today. Silver is 50% below its all-time high, 2x to $70 this year. On March 28, 2025, he says that silver for the next 2 months is the best of the three, gold, silver, and Bitcoin. So he preferred silver to Bitcoin in that one. On April 1st of 2025, he says, silver set to boom. Hottest investment today is silver. Not Bitcoin, not gold, not real estate. Silver. Now get this. April 2nd of 2025, he says, question, is silver more valuable than gold or Bitcoin? Answer, I say yes. Supplies of gold and Bitcoin do not decrease, yet silver supplies decreasing. And best of all, silver is the least expensive when compared to gold and Bitcoin. So he says that silver is a better investment and more valuable than gold or Bitcoin on April 2nd. But that's not the stance he continues to take. On May 6th, just 1 month later, he says why Bitcoin is a better asset than gold or silver. And he goes into explaining why that's the case. But I'm like, dude, you're shifting all over the place. And I mean, is it based on engagement, or are these like real convictions that you're holding? It makes no sense for you to completely dump real estate, jump on the silver wagon, and then jump on the Bitcoin wagon without any explanation of why you've completely dumped real estate. Then again, June 23, 2025, he goes back and says silver is the best investment today. So not Bitcoin, not gold, but silver. So he's again making this shift to saying that now silver is the best investment and Bitcoin's not the best investment. Then again, in September 28, 2025, he said, if I had $100, what would I invest in? I would buy more silver coins. So you see this vacillation now between silver and Bitcoin, he goes through and says buy gold, silver, Bitcoin several times. So, I mean, he's consistent with that. But again, completely ignores real estate, which is what his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, was heavy on, and what he was heavy on himself up to a couple of years ago, at least. And now has completely just ignored real estate completely, and now is promoting silver, promoting Bitcoin, although he also says buy gold as well. So it's just all over the place. Now, the funny one is his August 30, 2025, where he is talking about a very important lesson. What does talking your book mean? And he says when a person is talking their book, they have stopped teaching and are now selling. And he goes into this diatribe here that is really about Grant Cardone, although he never mentions his name, because he says he went toe to toe. And that's what he had told Vlad in another podcast and YouTube video, that he had gone toe to toe with Grant Cardone. But why are you coming at Grant Cardone when you've given up on real estate as an asset class? I mean, Grant Cardone is at least, being open with what he's doing. I mean, yeah, he's selling. Yeah, he's syndicating. And yeah, he wants you to invest in his stuff. But he's still in real estate, and he's got that big Boca deal where he's combined real estate with Bitcoin. He's podcasting with Michael Saylor and like super involved in the Bitcoin community. So, why is Robert coming at him, when he's the one who hasn't given us any reason why we shouldn't still invest in real estate? I mean, he was investing in real estate when interest rates were crazy. Interest rates even now are historically low and have been for the last few years, in comparison to like the 80s and 70s when Kiyosaki was buying and interest rates were like 19%. So, I mean, why would real estate with all of its tax benefits not still be something to consider? Well, we've never heard, because the last tweet where he says, I will be acquiring real estate, was back in March of 2024, and we haven't heard anything since. So, what happened to Robert? What happened to him? What happened to the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, who said that we needed to invest in real estate? There's nothing wrong with investing in Bitcoin, nothing wrong with investing in gold, silver. I mean, to shift from saying silver's the best, Bitcoin's the best, completely ignoring real estate while going at Grant Cardone because he's still doing real estate and you just don't like the way he's doing it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think something's wrong with Robert Kiyosaki? Do you think that he's just gone completely off the rocker? Or do you think he's just engagement farming and trolling all of us with, whatever is the popular wave of the moment? Let me know down in the comments, and let me know what you guys are investing in. Are you still doing rental real estate? Are you 100% Bitcoin? Are you 100% gold or silver, or a mixture of all of that? Let me know down in the comments what you guys are up to. And let me know what you think about Robert Kiyosaki. Take care.